Although this is not necessarily recommended for, it says Absinthe with the skull.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little glass I picked up online. It's more of a wine glass in container shape, and so you don't get the visual element that we'll see in a minute with the Absinthe. But being Tiki Goth Club, I just remembered I need to pull this bad boy out. It just add the ambiance.
Absolutely.
So we're drinking and using that as an excuse to tape, or are we taping and using that as an excuse to drink absinthe?
Both. Aloha, children of the night, and welcome to another episode of the Tiki Goth Club. Today I'm in the Rocking Jellyfish Lounge in Gig Harbor, Washington, Stephen Curran's home tiki bar. And Stephen bought a bottle of absinthe that's kind of hard to get. Mm-hmm. In fact, this is it here.
It's the Nouvel'le Orleans.
The Nouvel'le Orleans.
The New Orleans, yeah.
And is that what Nouvel'le?
En français, yeah.
There you go. And I did an episode with my friend Jeannie, and when she bought this and like 4 other ones from Jade Liqueurs, that she had them shipped in from like Germany, because I don't think you can buy these. It's very hard to get, but you got one, and I want you to tell people how you got this bottle, because it was definitely not easy.
So we're in the state of Washington.
Yeah. So
we're in America's spectrum of getting liquor. We're in the middle to lower end. That we can get some liquors, but others are harder to find. Yes. Unlike, say, California and New York, which are on the easier to get end. So we had done a tasting that you had put together at the Splintered Wand in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Of absinthes, and it's funny because I took notes based on one of your episodes with Jeannie where you guys went over it, and I'm sort of a beginner to it, and I'm just starting to take to absinthe. So this actually on my notes that I actually made notes from your thing and say that's the one I want to taste. Yeah. When we actually tasted them at the Splintered Wand, because they have a great selection.
Very big, very great selection. Probably the biggest selection of absinthe in the city of Seattle. And I've checked other places that have absinthe. Maybe a couple places have like 3.
Yeah.
But like Splintered Wand and like a whole list.
They had a big list, and a lot of this Jade. So this one I thought would be my favorite, and it proved of the few I tried to be my favorite by far. So ironically, although the absinthe is made in France, and I don't know where the company is based, whether they're American or French company, the shipping it from Germany is easier, and I think permissible to Washington, because Washington is one of those hard to ship to states for liquor. And but I looked at one of my favorite local places in Anacortes, up closer to the Canadian border, Compass Wines, and because I had gotten some
Compass Wines,
Compass, like north, south,
east, west. Okay,
yeah,
up in Anacortes,
yeah, and they
had
carried some rums that were hard to find, so I just had them delivered, and they would, because it's within the state of Washington, it was we didn't go through all the hassles that you go through to try to get liquor shipped from out of state. And so I just happened to look on their website, and they just happened to have of Jade Absinthe. I think this is the only one. Now, I paid...
Like they had it there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I just had it shipped. Okay. I bought some other stuff from them, and they shipped it over in one day, and, via whatever FedEx or whatever courier they used. Now, you paid a hefty premium, so the... in terms of the bottle was probably a lot more expensive. But then again, I didn't pay to get it shipped to Germany, so it probably all equaled out in the end. The bottle would have been cheaper from Europe, but the shipping costs and hassles would have added enough to the bottle. So, I splurged because I know you liked it, and I liked it. And
this one and the 1901 are my 2 favorites. But, I mean, we're talking like... There's not much of it isn't like one blows away the other by far.
And as a sort of beginner or latecomer to it, I mean, when years ago, Heidi, my better half, and I used to hang out with friends in New York City, and we go to the restaurant Pastis, the French bistro, in its original location. And one of our dear friends, he would always insist we have pastis, and he also liked absinthe, but I never took to it. And so your enthusiasm for it, along with the tasting, sort of developed me to try it. And this one is really, I find, the most accessible of the ones that you and Jeannie have discussed.
Yeah.
So again, the cost may throw people off. It's not a cheap bottle by any means, but at the same time, for a beginner, you want to start with something with quality, because I think too, I've tried years ago when I have tried it, I think I've tried more middle of the road stuff, which is, okay, I guess, but it's like maybe any liquor, when you try the quality stuff, even as a beginner, you may not appreciate all the differences between all the quality stuff, but you sort of know it when you drink it.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, when I did my episode with Jeannie and we tried these, I knew it's like, well, I'm spoiled now, because it's like I don't see absinthe getting better than these. I mean, it was like some of the best absinthe I've had yet. But I mean, and there's been a couple different ones that are like, okay, well, this one's like okay, but these other ones over here are like even better. And we're gonna try some, even though we already had some before. But I think what I wanted to do this video is that last time you got some toys here, so you got this. So this is one way of, the old way of doing it. Well, one way of doing it, the traditional way is using the spoon.
Yep. And
then what you would do is you would put the spoon on there. You put the sugar on there, and then you'd pour the water over it or drip it. Mm-hmm. But that can get tedious and a little messy. And what this does, so what it is, it looks like an ashtray.
Yeah.
But what you do is you put the sugar cubes here, and then you literally just pour the water over this, and there's little holes, 4 of them actually, and it just drips down into the glass.
Yeah, and so
it's easy. Real easy.
People must know absinthe. Part of the whole thing is the ritual. You pour about 1.5 ounces, and this is a bubble glass.
Yep, so you fill this bubble.
Yep, you fill the bubble, and then you need to pour water, because you do not drink absinthe straight. That would be bad for your brain.
You can try
taste buds.
You can try, but it just doesn't taste all that good. Ooh. So let's try some of this.
All right.
This absinthe. So first let's get our glasses ready.
Pour some, yeah. Let's do that.
Here, you do it, since it's
it's
your bottle.
But I just got these little implements of absinthe drinking recently, so this is all a new experience for me. I haven't tried all of this, so although I'm the host, I'm in your hands. So we just fill up the bubble there.
Yep, that's
okay.
perfect.
Looks good.
The next step is we're gonna put this. You want to do yours first or me first?
We'll do yours first, since you've done this before.
So you lay that down.
Yeah.
And we have these fancy sugar cube packets, but you can just use any sugar.
Just sugar. Yeah.
Any just sugar. So they are kind of small.
I use 2,
but
I like it sweeter.
I'm gonna get 2, and you literally just put it there.
And then, are you going to put ice in it, or not?
Well, the idea is that the water should be already chilled. Already.
Yeah, I mean,
so the water that we have here is already
cold.
Iced, and then you literally just sort of pour it in there, and just let it do its thing. Is it doing anything?
It's dripping, but it doesn't look much. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I hope all the holes are opened up. Oh, there you go. And you see the swirling in the bubble. So part of the show is this.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, now it's doing its thing.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, I think you had a bad brulee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at down in here. You can slowly see the sugar starting to mix in with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, when it comes to the water, it's the taste. Obviously, the more water you add, the more it'll.
But it's a trippy way to drink alcohol.
But obviously you want to have the loche. which means they'll become milky looking. See, now it's starting to really.
Yeah, I think it was
color.
the sugar cubes were blocking the holes. That's why. Golly gee willikers, Mr. Science, when do we start drinking?
Yeah, Mr. Wizard, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
See, look at it. It's like even up here, it's really starting to loach and become creamy looking.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Little.
And the nice thing is, like,
bubble.
You just lay it on there, and you don't have to be trying to like drip. I mean, if you had a fountain or something like that, I mean, then but those are cheap. Those are not cheap at all.
No, and again, being just a beginner and an occasional absinthe drinker, this was an inexpensive way. The glasses and the weren't expensive. You know, the expensive part is actually the absinthe itself for this setup.
Yeah, and the nice thing about these glasses is like that you know how much to add.
Yeah, look at how white it is compared to. So if you look at the
start
bubble undiluted.
Yeah, it's like night and day, right? But it is all about the process, you know. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to, you could take the absinthe, throw some sugar cubes in there, throw some water, mix it up, and there you go. But man, isn't this cool to like watch and see the magic happen? And at this point in time, it looks like milk milk that looks spoiled because it's slightly green.
Boy, that for those who haven't tried it, that's really an enticement, isn't it?
But I can assure you that
green spoiled milk, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, let's pour a little bit in.
And I love the napkins that you've laid out.
Yes.
Poisons and potions. And this does have the wormwood in it.
Yep.
Just so you know. And for everyone out there, trust me, it will not make you hallucinate. Well, sadly. But the whole thing about absinthe is that it's very, very strong. And like the proof of this is, let me see what the proof is this. 68% alcohol. So what proof would that be?
Double it, about almost 140 proof.
140 proof. But the point is like this is liqueur that's very, very strong.
Yeah.
And I honestly think what the magic of this is, even though this is very, very strong, it goes down very, very smoothly.
Yeah. Well, and
too smooth. Actually.
A little bit goes a long way with the water, thankfully, which is one reason in my mind I could justify being an amateur buying an expensive bottle.
Yeah, and again, this was. So you said is it an ounce and a half? Is that what it is?
I don't know. That's what you and I have done in the past.
Yeah, I think this might even just be an ounce.
Yeah, which is most people have an ounce. Last time we tried it, we had an ounce and a half. But you know, maybe we drink too much. I don't know.
What?
Give it a little tiny stir here, and cheers.
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 Cheers to you.
Oh, that's nice.
Complete perfection.
So other absinthes, the very few I've tried, just sort of either the licorice taste, and this is a very strong licorice taste, don't get me wrong, overwhelms the palate, or it just kind of burn. It kind of has an overwhelming taste, and this one doesn't. This one, but you've tried a bunch of absinthes recently. What do you think differentiates a good one like this from maybe a lesser quality?
Well, they're all for the most part going to have that black licorice anise taste to it. Mm-hmm. And what I find is the better ones seem to be smoother, where the not so good ones tend to be kind of more harsher. Or the better ones, you can taste the botanicals a lot more. You can tell the complexity of the absinthe, where some of the cheaper ones just taste like black licorice.
Yeah.
And then some of them will have like a very distinct taste to it. And I don't want to name any names, but there's certain ones where I've tasted where I'm like, there's a taste going on that I just don't like.
Yeah.
That goes beyond like the black licorice.
Right.
But this is seriously one of the best absinthes I've ever had. And I appreciate you sharing this with me.
Oh, of course. This is one of the few, although I don't know why, one of the few things that I just feel funny drinking alone. I mean, I'll make it myself a Mai-Tai. I'll make a tiki cocktail, gin and tonics, whatever. But I think the social element, and the thing, Absinthe, I usually don't get romantic or wistful about liquors, but it does harken back to what makes me fell in love with the West Coast and even across the country, worldwide tiki scene is, it's an excuse for us to have a discussion, have it on tape, whatever, or to just get friends together. And, this harkens back to the salon. That harkens back to my friends in New York City who used to drink this, who used to love going to nice restaurants with us, and we'd go back to their apartment and discuss things we thought were important 25, 30 years ago, but, of the day. But, that whole idea of having people together, talking, thinking things through, whatever, it just, it has that romantic quality to that.
It does. It completely does. Yeah. But I love I do love the process and the ritual of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of fun because a lot of times, unless you're making your own tiki drinks, because that's mostly what we drink. You're in the kitchen, you're in your bar doing all this stuff. But I think it's kind of cool that you can have a drink where the person that's going to drink the drink can do it themselves. We can sit here at the table and okay, I'm going to add the sugar. I'm going to add my water.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to create my own drink.
Yeah, the ritual is maybe why I feel funny drinking alone is because if I'm drinking alone, I will watch a movie on TV, or might even be on my computer, or I might just sit here in the bar but listen to music. But I'm not focused on the drink. I'm focused on the taste, but I'm not focused on the drink. Whereas here, you're focused on the drink, and you're focused on the other people and their drink. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I think it's a social, like I say, and it's a good excuse to get you here and to do this, to talk about it. Joe, you want absinthe or you want to go on a walk?
So you may be asking yourself, how can I join the Tiki Goth Club? Well, there is no membership. There are no fees. Well, things have changed. For $15, you can become a member of the Tiki Goth Club. What does $15 get you? It gets you your own membership card with your own number. You also get a couple stickers and a pin. I also have shirts for sale. These are $20, $5 shipping and handling. And I also have hoodies for sale that go for $40, $10 shipping and handling. If you're interested in any of this, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and there's a tab that says Tiki Goth Club. Just click on that, and all the information you need is there.